instructed its follower, please follow this instruction and prohibit your foods for daytime or for night time. In some cases in Hinduism, we saw for 24 hours, 36 hours, or 48 hours. And during this fasting, our Hindu brothers and sisters, they take only water, drink water and fruits sometimes. But in Muslim, from the sunrise to sunset, this 14 hours or 16 hours in a day or 15 hours, whatever day long period it lasts according to the season. If it is in summertime, it is the days little bit longer. In winter days, little bit shorter, but prohibit food. So this fasting is a part and parcel of each of the major religion. So now science has proven that it is very useful not only to purify your soul, not only to control your greediness, to control your bad willingness, bad habits, or your bad intention, but also to purify your body. So it is very important. And now I would like to know one thing from you, that while someone gets diabetes or someone be bulky, then everybody says, please avoid meat, avoid this flesh, avoid this, avoid oils, avoid and fats. So many things, avoid, so many things comes forward. So could you please explain how bad fat is for human health? So whether fat is bad or whether fat should be avoided for this sort of reason?
So you have raised a very pertinent question. Now what happens, this fat came into picture because of, okay, there's no slide. So there was one study which started in 1948 in USA, okay, and it is called as Framingham study, okay, and then it was subsequently spread to all over the world in 5 continents, and then they came a conclusion that the fat causes increase in cholesterol, the cholesterol lead to heart block, and it causes myocardial infarction or heart attack. Okay, so it was a conclusion drawn from this Framingham study. Now, this conclusion was taken by the government of United States, and in 1977, they came up with the guidelines that the people should reduce their fat intake from, say, 40% to 30%. Okay, so what happened? The people listened, they reduced their fat intake, but what happened? The incidence of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease increased exponentially. Okay, so why this happened? Now the scientists, now they started reinterpreting this data of Framingham study, and they concluded that the interpretation was bad. Okay, first of all, there is no relationship between fat and cholesterol, and there is no relationship between cholesterol and the atherosclerosis or heart block and heart attack, because 80% of the cholesterol is synthesized in your body. Even if you don't eat, 80% of the cholesterol is synthesized in your body. Okay, so if you don't eat the cholesterol, the body will increase its production. Second thing, cholesterol is extremely essential because it is a component of cell membrane. It is the precursor of synthesis of various hormones. It is also required for bile. So our body's functions depend on this cholesterol. And if there is less cholesterol, then your cell membrane would be not proper. Your hormonal imbalance would be there. The bile would be not prepared properly, that there would be a problem in the digestion. So the fat is very essential. What happened? This fat, which the man has prepared, what is called as vegetable oil and the trans fat, this and margarine or dalda, this has created an havoc. These fat are problematic. This fat has created this obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. And this fat has given a free hand because of the guidelines of government of United States that you have to reduce your fat content from 40 to 30%. So what happened? There is a 3 component in your food. There is a carbohydrate, there is a protein, and your fat. If you reduce the fat, then other component has to be compensated. So what has to be increased? Then the carbohydrate has to be increased. So what happens? You reduce fat and the carbohydrate has given a free hand. So the industry started selling low fat cookies, low fat cold drinks, low fat ice cream, and they have put a lot of sugar. And that this sugar has caused this insulin resistance, obesity, and diabetes. So fat is not a problem as far as you are eating fat, which is naturally occurring, which is present in the whole unprocessed food, in nuts, in desi ghee, or you can even some animal fat may be good, but the fat which is bad is what we eat, this refined vegetable oil which we eat, then the trans fat which is present in the processed food, packaged food, the margarine, the dalda, these are bad. So fat is not bad. You eat the unprocessed, naturally occurring fat, and it is healthy. In fact, in the research, it is found that those people who eat low fat diet, they have high incidence of stroke and heart attack. Okay, so fat in a natural form is a good.
So according to you, you are advising that whatever people listen till now, that avoid fat, avoid meat, avoid flesh, avoid mutton, avoid chicken. So no, naturally grown fat is healthy for human health and useful for human health, but the refined or man-made fat is harmful. So we should avoid the man-made fat, and we can intake the naturally available fats. Number one. Second one is, why someone become fatty, why someone have diabetes, then once doctors or physicians or everybody around the society advise them, please take 2 times roti, I mean the bread, and once rice. But you know, in our Indian culture, Indian subcontinent culture, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, this area is mainly rice consuming nation. We used to take rice 3 times in a day. But while someone advised, please avoid rice for 2 times, only 1 time rice is allowed, and rest 2 times you take bread, you just rotis, this sort of things. So these bread come from wheat. So how bad or how healthy this wheat is?
See, I told you the wheat itself is a not bad thing. Okay, the first thing is the way we are eating wheat is a bad. Our ancestor used to eat wheat, which was the flour was prepared with the grounding. There was a 2 stone. You know that they used to do grounding, and they used to make a chapati with the help of that wheat. So during that process, the fibers and fat were preserved. But the modern milling, it's okay. The modern milling is making it a very fine powder, and we are removing the husk. So the fiber is removed. So what remain is only a purified carbohydrate there. So this has a very high glycemic index, and it increases the insulin level. Second problem is the component of wheat. The protein which is present in a wheat is called as gluten. Now, because of the hybridization, now our ancestor used to wheat, which was of a very small size. Okay, and the height of the wheat crop was very high. Now you can see the height of wheat crop is very less, and the size is increased. But when the scientist has done the nutritional assay of this wheat, the micronutrient contents, the vitamin contents were inferior as compared to the wheat our ancestor used to eat. So even if the size is increased, the nutritional content of the wheat is less. Second thing, because of the genetic modification, there is a double in the number of chromosome in the wheat, and the chromosome is changed and the gluten is also changed. Now our body is finding it difficult to digest this gluten, and that's why there is so much of gluten sensitivity. You might have heard gluten-free diet and all. Why this has come? Because a lot of people are getting the insulin sensitivity and this gluten sensitivity. This gluten is changed because of the hybridization. So this is, and third thing is wheat is addictive. You can eat a lot of wheat, means you can eat a lot of bread, you can eat a lot of cookies which is prepared from the wheat. But if you give an apple, you won't eat too much of apple. Okay, because